Greetings, everyone. I'm very happy to be here with you today, and I'm going to be presenting on a topic that's dear to me, miracles. I have been fortunate to witness and experience lots of miracles, which I attribute to the application of the spiritual teachings of the Rosicrucian order. So if you bear with me, I will share my slides with you. Miracles and the spiritual laws, the act of conscious creation. Let's take a moment to recall a time when we experienced a miracle. Why was it a miracle? Perhaps it was because it was unexpected, or because what seemed impossible before has now become possible. What was your reaction when you experienced a miracle? How did it feel? The term miracle often evokes images of extraordinary events, but when we dive deeper, we realize that miracles are not random acts, but rather manifestations that arise from alignment with natural laws. In our Rosicrucian teachings, miracle is defined as the result of obedience to natural laws. Miracles are the natural outcome of adhering to natural laws. What then are natural laws? Natural laws are the working basis of all creation, and no manifestation can occur or exist without the natural laws. No human creation can occur in the absence of the natural laws. Examples of natural laws include the law of compensation or karma, the law of evolution, the law of reincarnation, and so forth. The key to creating or manifesting our desires is to become aware of the natural laws and adhere to them. And by so doing, we experience miracles. To consciously create our realities, we must work on our desires. Does the desire align with the higher self? How do we know if our desires are aligned with the higher self? To answer these questions lie in understanding what a desire truly is. Desires are the driving force behind our actions and decisions. Our desires direct our daily lives. We all have desires, even though we might not be conscious of every one of our desires. Desires allow us to focus on the direction we wish to be heading in life. They shape our experiences and who we are becoming. For these reasons, we must work on our desires. When we align our desires with our higher self, we direct our lives positively. And when our desires are aligned with the soul, it will manifest not as a reward, but as a result of the law. So to consciously create our realities, we must work on the desire. We must spiritualize and elevate our desires. A spiritual desire is the highest quality motivating us. Ask ourselves, does the desire serve others? How will the manifestation of the desire serve the greater good? After we have established this, then we can create the mental states and way of thinking that will allow for the expression of the spiritual desire. For example, if the desire is to be more loving in a relationship with a loved one or a friend, the mental attitude we want to attain could be openness or patience in that relationship. If the desire is to be happy, the mental attitude or way of thinking we may want to attain to allow the expression of happiness could be trust in the creative process of the light. It is important to note that when we are happy, when we feel happy, it is from an attainment. But what we are seeking for is found within. I repeat that. It is important to note here that when we feel happy, it is from an attainment. However, what we're looking for is found within ourselves. The object of our desire and longing is in reality a state of awareness, a state of consciousness that later manifests materially. This is very important, and recognizing this principle is essential for us to attain happiness. I repeat this for emphasis. The object of our desire and longing is in reality a state of awareness, a state of consciousness that later manifests materially. After we have attained this new state of consciousness, we then act on it, bringing it into physical manifestation. So to consciously create is to work on our desires. The manifestation then becomes a physical expression of our desired state of consciousness. So when we want to create anything, ask ourselves, what new states of consciousness am I being challenged to develop? Let's now do some practical exercises to further illustrate the concept discussed. Mr. XYZ informs his wife that he has been assigned to work out of state for 6 months. This assignment requires him to live close to work. Mrs. XYZ is unhappy about this because she will have to manage the household alone while he is away. She desires a change of the situation. Let's analyze this case together and explore ways we can apply spiritual principles to create a new state of consciousness. Number 1, what is the desire? The desire is a change of the situation. Number 2, why is it challenging? Asking ourselves the whys allow us to contemplate on our thoughts and perspective. In this case, it is challenging because Mrs. XYZ will have to manage the household alone while Mr. XYZ is away. Number 3, what new state of consciousness are we challenged to develop? Here, we focus on shifting our mental attitude by understanding which spiritual law we need to adhere to in order to overcome the challenge. For instance, the law of karma. As we give, so too we would be given. As we give, we receive. It is the law. So in this situation, could it be sacrifice or flexibility or trust we need to develop? What mental attitude should we have to express these qualities? Although our ideal situation or ideal relationship may include conditions changing or another person changing, the key is to change ourselves first, and the conditions will change. In this exercise, we have done some self-exploration, and we have brought our awareness to what's occurring inside of us. Next, let's work on changing some of these aspects of us. Let's see how we can create a different reality while still in the experience. Let's start with the desire. The old desire is a change in situation. Can this desire be better? Does this desire serve others? How will the manifestation of this desire serve the greater good? So this is a new desire. This is a new desire, taking into consideration all of the concepts we have discussed. New desire. May my mind and body be attuned to the greater light in this situation. That would be a channel of blessings to others. May my mind be in the best condition for the universal intelligence to manifest in me and through me greater knowledge, greater love, and greater light in this world. So we've now shifted the old desire to include others and also include some spiritual principles. One of which is the law of duality. The law of duality we see every day. There is left and there's right. There's up, there's down. And if we're seeing one side, it's like a coin. If you're seeing one side of the coin, doesn't mean that the other side does not exist. So in this case, if we're seeing the obstacle, means the opposite also is there. The light, it's there. So the first sentence says, may my mind and body be attuned to the greater light in this situation. So through consciousness, we are tuning to the light in the situation. Although we might be seeing the obstacles, but doesn't mean that the light is not there. We live in a dual world. So through consciousness, we are connecting to that greater light. So we're going to move on. The next question is, what new state of consciousness are we challenged to have? What mental attitude should we have to allow for the expression of this desire? Perhaps the mental attitude could be openness, perhaps having 100% certainty in the workings of the spiritual laws, that as we give of ourselves, love, understanding, patience, we will receive. We then meet the challenging situation with this new desire and new consciousness. The bigger challenge, though, will be maintaining the new consciousness while in the experience. But with our willpower, we can. The key concept here is to change ourselves first, and the conditions will change. A negative application of the spiritual laws will be thinking and speaking negatively of Mr. XYZ to others. When we think ill of a person or situation, we can feel the effect on us, the stress, the sleepless nights, the worries, inability to focus, which might be stemming from entanglements with negative thoughts. In every challenge we encounter, we have a choice to create a better reality by positive application of the spiritual laws. When we do so, solutions appear in ways we could not have fathomed. This is what we refer to as a miracle, the result of the application of spiritual laws. When we live in obedience of the natural laws, we change ourselves and we evolve. And as we evolve, so too do our families, our loved ones, and others. Together, we evolve. Let's now apply these spiritual concepts to a challenge we might be experiencing. Take a moment to identify a challenge or difficult situation. Why is it challenging? Here we contemplate on our thoughts and perspectives and change those that do not serve us. What new state of consciousness are we challenged to develop? Again, the focus is on shifting our mental attitude by understanding which spiritual law we need to adhere to in order to overcome the challenge. For instance, the law of karma. As we give, so too we would be given. It is the law. So in this challenging situation, is it patience, trust, openness, forgiveness, compassion that we need to develop? What mental attitude should we have to express these qualities? One of the numerous benefits of being a Rosicrucian is that the teachings empower us with tools and techniques to become aware of our thinking. One of these tools is through reflection and visualization. In the exercise we did, in the previous exercise we used reflection. We can also do the same exercise through visualization. Let's close our eyes. Recall the challenging situation. What are your thoughts about the situation? Do these thoughts limit you from expressing your light? In other words, how would you act if you didn't have these thoughts about the person or situation? Perhaps be more loving, kind, giving. Now visualize a whiteboard and project the thoughts to the whiteboard. With an eraser, gently erase the thoughts. Now let's visualize the mental attitude we would like to have to express these qualities. So if it's to be more understanding, see yourself doing actions that express your desired qualities. It is in giving that we receive. If we do good, good will return to us. It is the law. You may repeat this exercise 4 more times, or as you need. In conclusion, evolution involves developing our faculties and virtues. Everything in the material world serves as a tool to facilitate this growth. By understanding and applying spiritual principles, we can transform our surroundings into a reflection of our highest aspirations. We can create enriching experiences. Let us now proceed with a brief meditation. Sit comfortable with your back as straight as possible. Your hands placed on your thighs, palms down, and your feet placed flat on the ground, slightly apart from each other. Close your eyes. Take several neutral breaths. Feel a warm sensation in your right big toe. And then feel it rising to your entire right foot. And then to your entire left foot. Feel the sensation in both feet rising to both legs, knees, thighs, hips, lower back, stomach, upper back, your chest, neck, face, and to the center of your head. And remain there. Let us now intone the vowel sound, Om, 7 times. Say mentally or in a low voice the following invocation. God of my heart, God of my realization, grant me the privilege of having a conscious experience of my soul. So mote it be. Resume normal breathing and remain silent. While in this state of receptivity, allow yourself to be infused by all the impressions that come to your consciousness. When you have done, you may open your eyes. Hello, everyone. This brings us to the end of this presentation. Thank you.